Graitec PowerPack 2022 for Advanced Steel has now been released. The PowerPack is Graitec's extension to Advanced Steel, which gives users additional modelling tools, connections, templates, sections and data. This video will run through what's new in the 2022 release. We will start with the import and export. We now have, with the 2022 release, a synchronization option. So this will improve the BIM workflows between Advanced Steel and Advanced Design. One of the key features within this mechanism, users can choose what attributes they actually want to synchronize. So if there are differences in materials and things like that, users can control what they synchronize between the two packages. For the PowerPack Premium, the stairs and railings tools within the PowerPack, one of the changes that has been made to the stair tools, the tread connections. If we go to our library and we load in our glass infill settings, you will see that the change in the railing from sloping sections to horizontal sections, the infill panels are now calculated no matter what the geometry is. If we come into here and we set the post positioning to be by total length, you'll see again, even when we have transitions from horizontal to sloping or sloping to horizontal on the upper and lower, all of the infill panels are calculated correctly. The next new feature we'll look at is again, we will start with standard railing. So we'll start our railing here and we'll end it over here. The next feature we are going to look at are the split mechanisms and the mechanisms for creating lugs. This means that Advanced Steel users can create railings that are generated in fabricated panels, and it means that these can be created using the PowerPack railing tools without having to explode the macros and manually add these elements outside of the macro. So you can see here we have some infill panels. Now if we wanted to fabricate this in, say, 3 chunks, what we can do first of all to split the handrails is, if we go to the Handrails tab, we have a sub-tab for split. We can say we want to split based on the posts, and what we'll do is we will put a split in at the 3rd post. So we'll put a split in at the 3rd post. And we will offset that 100 millimeters. And we can see in here we now have a split in the top rail. Now this mechanism has been in the railing tools for a while. The new features for 2022 are the options to put a gap in and we have the options to create a site weld if we needed them to be site welded together. We'll also put a split on post number 6. And we'll repeat that process, and then we'll move on to looking at one of the key new features of the 2022 PowerPack, which is the fixing lugs for the middle rails. Okay, so we have our top rail split at post number 3 and post number 6. So now let's go and look at our fixing lugs. So if we go to the handrail connections and we go to middle handrail to post, what we need to do for the fixing lugs to work, we need to set the middle handrail to post connection to aligned. So on the middle handrail to post, we'll change a connection type to aligned. And if we now go to the fixing lugs, you'll see that the mechanism is available. So we'll say in this example today we want horizontal lugs, and then once you've chosen your lug type, the system will look at the properties of the railing, and it knows how many posts there are, and then we can start to choose where we want the lugs, what type of lugs we do want. So what we'll do is we'll come here and if we have our tree structure, which you'll recognize from other parts of the stairs and railings tools. If we want lugs on all posts, we would tick create fixing lugs. Because I only want lugs on post number 3 to begin with, I have to click on post 3 and then choose create fixing lug. And then the system creates the fixing lug for me. We want our fixing lug on the opposite side, so we'll choose other side. If you wanted double lugs, you obviously just choose both sides. We can then control, is that lug created from a flat bar or a profile, or is it done with a plate? If we need a 5mm gap between the rail and the post to allow for a weld gap, we can set that information, and then we can set where the weld is done. That's done in the workshop, and this is doing it for both middle rails. So you can see in here we have that. We can then change the bolts if we need to. We can choose if we have a round or slotted hole, and then we can set the number of bolts and the spacings, and obviously the lug sizes. Now once we have that set for post number 3, I need this copied to post number 6. So what we can do is right click on post number 6. If we go to post 6, we can say copy from post 3, so that we then don't have to go and set up the parameters again. And those are those lugs copied from post number 3. So we now have one railing macro, but if we're using the Graitec railing tools, that macro is split up into our 3 fabricated panels.